Plus, if you're going to play an AP bruiser type of champion, which is the way Lilia is built, there's one item in the game that supersedes all other items. It fits a lot better than Sven on an Ezreal. Because as fun as it is to stay 1,000 units away, spam Qs, jump away with your built-in flash on your E,
or
Senna
run into the
set
river.
up plays a lot better, and I really am excited to see them switching things up here. Keep Sven off the Ezreal. I don't think it's been doing a lot of good work in playoffs. I'm excited to see what they're able to do here with the Senna Tahm Kench instead to switch it up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy, you know, the amount of those plays. But in the last game, one of the curses had the break. It was either the Sven Ezreal or the Doublelift Senna, and Doublelift ended up getting his first ever Senna win. That was enough for Cloud9 to steal it away. They're like, nope, one is enough wins for you on Senna. So Sven is going to play it, and Sven has been a very effective Senna player. I think it plays really well into how he plays AD carry in general. He generally does have a mind much more for kind of those skill shots pass-throughs, and he positions pretty well with this one. I don't know what it is about the Ezreal. Here's the sweep invade, though. They do have Vulcan's sweeper, able to get that one down for the delayed invade.
Here we go, Cloud9 wanting to invade that red buff at the start. TSM have no desire to fight over this. They don't want to have the game turn into anything wacky at level 1. Instead, they are just going to send Spica behind enemy lines to take away the enemy red buff by himself. Now, of course, this means he's not going to have any sort of a leash, but he is Lee Sin. He can deal with this pretty effectively just on his own. You can see he hits level 2, only losing 100 HP off his health bar there, and immediately switches over to the Krugs to farm this up a little bit here. Does have his smite ready to go to smite that big Krug. And as Licorice is pushing up aggressively, Spica could make a quick visit up here at level 2.
Yeah, Broken Blade would also need level 2 first, so he could get taunt to make it happen. But if he takes down these next couple minions and gets level 2, then he could do a gank setup. Off the melee, gets it.
There it is. Level 2 for Broken Blade and Spica and Licorice all. Broken Blade looking for that taunt here. Licorice will try to kite around to the best of his ability, but that kiting not doing the job here, and it's first blood over to TSM.
Yep, good split on the map here for the invade, and you gotta say, when your jungler invades red like that for Cloud9 and they're trying to split the map, topside does have to assume a little bit of a weaker role, be really careful about enemy jungle presence. And the Lilia, the aggressive matchup into the Shen, getting killed early on is going to be kind of difficult. That being said, he did not blow his flash. So Licorice here kind of accepts his death. He's like, okay, 2v1. He does get a nice Q to burn him down, but as soon as Broken Blade commits the taunt flash, you know, there's no reaction speed there. If you're able to start your cast of your taunt first, then flash to make sure there's no reaction time from your opponent, Licorice accepts his death. He doesn't blow his own flash. So it's not the terrible world where you're this aggressive matchup topside and you have no outs, you have no possibilities of evading future events. Still really good news there for TSM to convert, though.
Absolutely. Shut down the Lilia a little bit, slow down the ability for him to bully the lane and build up those natural advantages against Broken Blade. Plus, getting a kill onto the Lee Sin nice and early will make it easier for him to get towards those early power spikes like the Warrior completion, contest the Graves in open ground, and be more aggressive with how he wants to gank and influence these lanes moving forward. Now, we were able to see Blabber grab himself a farm advantage in the meantime. You would at least hope that Graves is able to farm up a couple of extra camps while Spica is making plays there in the top side. But we'll see if Blabber can get involved in these lanes anywhere. Top side, you can see pretty much at an equilibrium state at that very midpoint of the lane. Both champions just sort of farming back and forth, trading blows here as Spica will continue to clear from top side towards bottom side, maybe working his way down there, seeing if there's a gank.
And we could see from the passover on the mid lane matchup there with Bjergsen opting for lethal tempo as Broken Blade gets a pretty good trade in here onto the Lilia. Bjergsen not looking to try and punish Akali pre-6 super heavily. You can see Niski's farming really well on the Akali here, and Bjergsen went for lethal tempo rather than, you know, something like the Comet, which is a lot more lane bully oriented for the early stages. Lethal tempo is the one scales super well for the Azir, looking much more at those later game team fights. And it is going to mean that with Niski CSing really well here on the Akali so far, he's going to have to worry about once you get to level 6 and you start to see roams coming through. Multiple angles here around mid lane, probably going to need some wards. You see already just one here from Cloud9 trying to ward the ramp leading down into the Dragonside River.
I feel like we talk so much about the Niski-Blabber synergy and these two working together, roaming around as a duo. And on Akali and Graves, those are two champions where if you run into them and you weren't quite ready for it, you are guaranteed there's going to be free money for the Cloud9 side. Once again, Blabber will be grabbing an early Drake here, should be completely uncontested, so Cloud9 will get themselves this first objective of the game. Niski even hanging out on the bottom side of the river here just to make sure nobody from TSM is going to be checking around that area, as Blabber is only half HP. But Cloud Drake secured. Ocean Drake coming up next means we're going to get either another Mountain Soul or potentially an Infernal Soul this time around.
And the timing on that is pretty big for Cloud9 because you want to try and force that first early dragon before Shen hits level 6. And they just get it in before TSM get their recall off for bottom side for a reset here for Ashe on BF Sword for 6-minute recall for himself, and before the Shen is able to get to level 6. Now that Ashe has the BF Sword recall already in place in inventory here for double lift, and the Shen is level 6, they have to be way more careful.
Spica going after Licorice here as Licorice just tries to get himself away. Uses the Lilting Lullaby to put Spica to sleep, but the Stand United comes in. Guarantees Licorice won't have any chance of a kill here, but hey, you get the Stand United out nice and early to do nothing but make sure Spica doesn't die. You call that a win for Cloud9.
Yeah, I think that was interesting because there's a kind of a decision tree here where you Stand United early on Spica to try and force Licorice to use his flash to get away. And you threaten him really, really heavily with that cooldown. But then you're trading your Stand United for the flash. And they didn't really want to make that trade, so Broken Blade tried to hold it and just hope that Spica could fight his way out. But since Licorice commits his Lilia ult, then they have to end up burning the Stand United anyway, and it just ends up being top lane ultimates traded instead of being able to get that key flash down on Licorice and open up more punishing opportunities. With that early gank, though, it has set up Broken Blade nicely in this lane. Early Cowl. Means he gets to shrug off so much of the dot damage. What's great against dots, Flowers? Oh, healing over time.
Yeah, so, turns out. Hots versus dots. Good times. Good times up there for Broken Blade, who finds a taunt yet again onto Licorice. Remember, Lilia's base stats are not very intimidating. If you are able to close the distance and she can't just kite away, you can win trades very effectively against that champion, especially if you're within the range of that sweet spot on the Q, makes it so she doesn't get all the bonus damage or convert it to true damage there. So Licorice is on the losing end of some trades up here. Broken Blade dashes forward. Licorice turning right back in now as Blabber shows up, getting some good damage down there with the challenging smite. Chasing after Broken Blade, forcing the flash of the TSM top lane.
Yeah, they do get the flash out. Broken Blade actually returns through the tower to pick up the minion wave, so he won't lose out on the big golden experience, but it does mean Blabber moves right in to the Rift Herald, even with the control ward down on it. Him and Licorice, looks like they're sticking on it.
Rift Herald, Rift Herald, Rift Herald. Will this one turn into an absolute topside party like they did in game number 1? C9 wants to finish it off before that reality comes true. Blabber will go after the eyeball, making sure not to leave that one sitting around. We've seen those sorts of things happen before, but not today, not in this series, sir. Collateral damage will get Blabber over the wall to make sure he stays safe there. Just wanted to make sure he got out of that pit as quickly as possible, and ulti has a lower cooldown than Flash does.
Yeah, I mean, you start jumping a little bit. Your heart starts beating when you see the supports roaming up on the minimap from bottom lane, approaching, getting closer to that Rift Herald fight. But they do get it before they get out, and we have a ult for flash trade.
Yeah, that was, talking about close, Bjergsen nearly getting the Emperor's Divide there onto Niski, but Niski with the flash gets himself away from it. And that's a superior cooldown. Bjergsen trading up there, now just needs to wait until the ulti's ready to go again and can try a similar strategy on to Niski and the Akali. Bjergsen has now passed up Niski in terms of farm, will be able to pad those numbers a little bit further here with that wave he's now farming up. So as that Lost Chapter comes into play, that item is so very effective for pretty much every mana-based mage in the mid lane. Helps you just make sure you have the mana pool required to spam out those waves, take lane control when need be. Doublelift getting hit by the center root, but Sven and Vulcan are really just more concerned with his turret right now, trying to get that plate money. One more shot would have done it. Not quite. Not quite.
Yeah, they have definitely done a good job of keeping up the pressure. The bottom lane looking so different whenever Cloud9 gets, lanes with much more agency than the Ezreal and the Ezreal Yumi combinations that we've seen from them. I think this is one of the big necessary and positive changes for Cloud9 this time around with the Senna. Vulcan and Sven continue to push in here. And with the recall, they even called down Blabber on Graves. Rift Herald is ready.
Yeah, Shelly's just about ready to go here. Smokescreen came down, but Blabber didn't want to fully invest into the dive. Doublelift does have ulti plus both summoner spells available. Now, Shelly summoned up will not quite be able to kill this turret from here. She takes a little bit more than 40% off of the turret. So it will still be standing here. And remember that last plate is incredibly hard to kill. So although the turret looks like it's at death's door, it's actually still pretty healthy. And Cloud9 have to walk away from this one as Dragon is alive for the second time this game. Spica throwing the Sonic Wave over the wall. Maybe he can piss the Dragon off enough to make it attack Cloud9 here once or twice. But nope, it's just going to go home.
It is the most annoying dragon to piss off because the Ocean Dragon with the slow on it, it actually hinders you. Most of the other ones are like, okay, you can shrug off a little bit of damage, but the Ocean Dragon slow can be game-changing. Also, sitting on wards can be game-changing.
Whoop. But also in your Lee Sin, it doesn't change that much when you can just jump over the wall to another ward placed down by your own volition there. Spica gets himself away safely, but with the enemy jungler running out, Cloud9 seizes the opportunity to go after the Dragon here. Enchanted Crystal Arrow fired out, finds its way onto Blabber. Biofrost going in, Stand United also going to show up. Blabber with a secure onto the Drake, but now he's likely going to die here. Vulcan with the save, getting Sven away. Bjergsen and Niski into a 1v1 off to the side of the fight, but it's already going to turn into an absolute mess. Niski grabbing the kill onto Doublelift. Biofrost now going to be in some trouble. Niski's making it a double. Good golly, Miss Molly. Blabber's grabbing the kill onto Bjergsen now as well. Broken Blade and Spica are back into the Cloud9 jungle. Blast Cone's going to stop Spica as he tries to make his way out, but now Sven's also going to be in a bit of a bad spot. Vulcan with another clutch save here in this fight. Blabber chasing him down. Ninja versus a shotgun. Which one's going to win? Put my money on the bullets, baby. Blabber with one more at the point blank range, and TSM is wiped off a Summoner's Rift.
5 kills for Cloud9 now as they wipe them down. Dragon started up, and just look at this initiation. Okay, the arrow is onto Blabber, and the charm follow-up here with Rakan, very nice as they're able to lock him up. Dragon does go over. Vulcan's then able to devour and spit out Sven to the backside, while Niski, look at him on the top side. With the help of the Senna ultimate over the top, Niski versus the two TSM carries, Bjergsen and Doublelift, takes them down. Blabber's ult is also able to get the 3rd kill for Cloud9. And then in the chase down here, Broken Blade and Spica trying to pull out an extra kill out of a hat as they're able to get the execution and almost finish off Sven. But yet again, Devour comes up. Vulcan saves Sven 2 times in that fight with 2 Devours.
That was such good play from Vulcan's Tom Kench as Licorice tries to survive 1v3 underneath the tier 1 turret in the bottom lane. Will not be able to do so. He had the ulti, looks like either available or just about available, but unfortunately the damage came in so rapidly. He's not really tanky yet. The champion does like to grab a little bit of AP before itemizing towards those tankier stats. So you can see still working on that Liandry's Torment, means TSM was able to burst him down. Meanwhile, Sven and Vulcan in the top side here on the tier 1, trying to get as much plate money as they can. Plates will fall here in 3, 2, 1, and the turret is history.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because at 14 minutes, the plates fall, and you're like, I don't get the money from those plates. But at 14 minutes, the plates also fall, and all the extra armor and resistances fall, and you're like, well, I can easily now kill the tower. It goes from super tanky to paper thin up there, and they do finish it off. Here's a little Gromp fight for some mid-game entertainment. In the end, able to steal it away there. For the Lilia, though, that you're talking about, I mean, the Liandry's is the one true god item, right? You have to include that in your build no matter what you're going. If you're going more utility after that, if you're trying to get Zhonya's or even spell shields or something, or if you're going Deadman's and you're going full tank, the Liandry's is just so insanely effective on this champion with the synergy. Now he gets locked up again, though.
Lilting Lullaby goes down. Sleep onto both players from TSM here. as you're also getting the Dawning Shadow coming in from Sven. That, coupled with the sleep damage, knocks half the HP off of both Biofrost and Spica. However, that is 2 ultis expended here by Cloud9. However, with Vulcan and Blabber both working on this Rift Herald, Niski also hanging around nearby. You can see he steals the blue buff away from TSM. Blue buff, it's okay for energy-based champions, but it's even nicer to keep it away from Bjergsen and limit his ability to wave push and clear so much.
Yeah, and it is part of the handshake of trading the two sides. You know, both teams opting into this. As TSM, they pushed all 4 people, or all 3 people down bottom to try and kill Licorice again and try and take down that tower, and they trade the tower for the top side objective here. Cloud9 force on Rift Herald. Might as well take the blue while you're at it when you have topside control, and Rift Herald number 2 in the hands of Blabber. It's going to be a big tool in Cloud9, pushing ahead their early game lead that they have this time around off of that big fight around Dragon. 40 seconds left on Inferno, plus the second Rift Herald left in hand, and bottom tower being as weak as it is. I think Cloud9 should have a really strong setup for this Dragon. And as TSM, you're thinking, okay, we do have some pretty good scaling options here. You know, Bjergsen's Azir is at the Nashor's Tooth, is you know, starting to get there, but it's going to have to be a good Ash Arrow if they really want a contest on it. And since Double F is top side, I kind of doubt that's really going to be the case for TSM, and they just want to wait for next one.
They are here to bully this Lilia yet again. Potentially looking to make a play, however, with Blabber nearby, that is not going to happen. Last time around, it was Blabber getting out-jungled. He was 2 levels down against a Graves, was also lacking in the farm department, but this time around, he's on the Graves. He's got the 2-level advantage. He's significantly stronger than his opponent at this point in time. Drake is alive. If Cloud9 get this one, it's soul point. TSM have to fight for every dragon for the rest of the game, or else they'll have to deal with an Infernal Soul. Sven goes for that lockdown onto Bjergsen, but will not find it. Sonic Wave is on Blabber. He walks away, so Resonating Strike won't be able to set up any sort of a kick here.
Distraction Herald
up in mid. Yep. Just going to be used there to bait TSM's attention towards mid lane, give Cloud9 priority over this bottom side river. Shelly will likely get some good damage down here with this headbutt. She does freeze up right outside of the charge range, so TSM could try to pull off some sort of a miracle and keep her stuck here before she gets off any charge at all. And it looks like they just might. Yes, Shelly gets distracted and does not land any sort of a charge at all. Spica hanging around the backside of the Drake pit here. Blabber still trying to put the damage onto the Drake. They see the control ward in the pit. They know that TSM is aware. Spica over the wall. Sonic Wave, where's the Resonating Strike? Blabber looking to fight for it. Stolen away by Spica. Make sure that Cloud9 is not able to keep stacking for that soul. However, C9 is now looking to make the fight go all the way. Bjergsen in some trouble. Niski on a killing spree. 2 dead on TSM. C9 lose the Drake, but win the fight. Blabber now continuing to play aggressively. Posture forward. Flash, taunt, damage coming through. But Vulcan is once again right there. The Devours bring him up to 3 saves in total this game, making sure everybody's staying alive.
What a trade, Flowers, because TSM actually got 2 objectives there, and Cloud9 got all of the kills and the money there. With TSM killing off Rift Herald before they get the charge down, you know, no value out of that objective, and then stealing away the dragon. Just look at Spica here. Honda performance replay. Let's get a look at this. As soon as the Sonic Wave lands, you know, as he safeguards into the pit, Cloud9 do back off, and they're looking for the fight. Smite Fight does go with the execution damage over to Spica. Then, though, with the snare landing on him from Sven, they lock up that kill, and Cloud9 want more out of it. They're able to go on to Bjergsen, right through the Shen Stand United. Niski is able to execute him. Really good extra damage there, right on through the shield. And with that extra money, can Cloud9 actually leverage this into more map control for themselves? Because that steal away for TSM, keeping Cloud9 from the really early Dragon Soul point, is going to buy them a lot of time.
Leandri's Torment now done for Licorice here on the Lilia. He
Woohoo!
is 0-3-5, so he has been targeted a little bit, probably getting that a little bit slower than he would have liked to, but hey, the item is completed, he's on the board, he's ready to go. Umbral Glaive also done for both junglers, will help them to maintain vision control, clear out some of the wards that might otherwise be a pain in the butt. You've also got Hextech Gunblade on Niski's Akali, 3-0-1 here on this assassin pick, really getting work done so far in the early and mid parts of this game.
Yeah, and I want to see Cloud9 try and make use of that solo laner here. Get your Akali into the side lane, pressuring. It's really difficult for Azir to answer, even though TSM have a stand united. It's still down from the last fight, so they're trying to pressure in on mid, do the damage that Rift Herald could not before the dragon fight, and it looks like even though Shelly was stopped right at the doorstep, C9 still able to finish the job.
Shelly did not die in vain. She provided an example on how to get things done later, and Cloud9 took up that mantle to get themselves some extra money and a structure here in the mid lane. 4,000 gold lead at 20 minutes into the game is pretty substantial here for the side of C9. Blabber continuing to stack additional lethality here on the Graves. Sometimes you'll see them just go for Warrior into Umbral Glaive, then start changing things up, go for Black Cleaver, Death's Dance, any of the typical Graves type items. But he sees that the only enemy player that is going to be tanky at all is probably going to be Broken Blade. He's not too worried about that. He just wants to continue going for high lethality versus low armor targets. I like it in this situation, making sure that he's doing the maximum burst damage possible to blow TSM up.
Yeah, Broken Blade doesn't even have armor yet either, too. So, you know, since he itemized for Lilia in lane for the 1v1. So definitely agree with the lethality build thus far. Now comes down to the map play, though. And with Cloud9, their attempt here is to get your Tahm Kench to level 11, because this greatly increases the range of your Abyssal Voyage. If you haven't put time in on Tahm Kench since the nerfs to the range on level 1 Abyssal Voyage, it can be shocking. As people are so used to talking about it as this global ultimate, this semi-global ultimate to be able to, you know, protect mid lane, to be able to move to the side lanes, you need the extra ranks in it to be able to have that full effectiveness. And he is pretty close to his level 11. Going to recall now and reset before, but once Cloud9 get that, they are so much more unlocked in trying to play this spread map style. And then you get to see the effects of Lilia later in the game, where her Swirl Seed becomes the most annoying thing. Split push on Lilia, and then continually throw these Swirl Seeds towards your opponents, just fishing for a lot of extra burn damage and possible sleeps. He got one.
Gone fishing, baby. Here comes the chain CC. Goodbye to Spica. Goodbye to TSM. Double kill, but there's 3 dead on the TSM side. That wombo combo could not have been prettier if you're a Cloud9 fan today. Licorice starts it all up. The deer is here. He gets his revenge. And it's Cloud9 into the Baron Pit.
Speaking of the devil, Captain Flowers, that wasn't a Swirl Seed. That was a silver bullet from Licorice. Nails them. 2 members, sets up the sleep. And just like that, Cloud9 get the triple kill and the Baron. Talk about a high-value single spell usage there. He gets the proc on them, immediately procs the sleep afterwards, doesn't hesitate on using his ultimate. And man, Cloud9, they get the Baron, they can reset after that. Infernal Dragon is available, so maybe with the Baron-empowered recalls, Cloud9 feeling like they can reset and get back out to this, but it does allow TSM to set up first.
And the Senna root was so critical as well, because the center root managed to lock up all 3 of the targets right after the lullaby. The chain CC was perfect coming out from C9. TSM at least going after this Drake for themselves. Should be able to find it, and now some nice chain CC coming down from them, managing to get a return kill here. With Licorice already out of the picture, TSM have themselves a numbers advantage, or at least they would if Spica wasn't already gone here too. Turret summoned up by Bjergsen. Carries at low HP on the TSM side, and both teams decide to back away.
Yeah, Cloud9 wanted more, you can tell too. Blabber flashed forward for an auto Q there with the Graves, and then kind of in anger shot his ult out as well to get the big chunks down onto TSM. But TSM successfully sneak away that Infernal Dragon. Another possible Dragon Soul point denied here from Cloud9, and now they're tied at 2-2. All that being said, C9 with a huge gold lead still. Baron buff means they can push for more. They can increase this gold lead. They should easily be able to pull off this 3-1 while they wait for Licorice to walk back down with Lilia.
Licorice making his way down here. Remember also that standing in a lane when Lilia is off the map can be very dangerous. Swirl Seeds just rolling at you from a million miles away could spell a lilting lullaby that means your doom. Cloud9 still has another minute and 15 seconds on this Baron buff. It's Licorice and Niski here in the mid lane, but TSM are looking for an opportunity here. Niski very slippery, but Licorice can't say the same. Doublelift is under pressure. Niski's going into the back line, has to flash away. Niski in some trouble. Licorice able to find the kill onto Spica, but Doublelift with the shutdown onto Niski is huge. Doublelift barely walks away. He's got 20 HP. Cloud9 end up trading 1 for 2, nearly a 1 for 3. Biofrost and Spica out of the picture. Doublelift having to heal up now. C9 on the mid lane push.
Yeah, and with Baron buff, that means C9 are going to get inside the base here, right through turret number 2, right onto the inhibitor turret afterwards. Snare does land, but it just means a little bit of damage onto Broken Blade. They've sent Licorice down to the bottom side, and his stopwatch purchase was very, very valuable for them in the last fight. He got off his damage, marking 3 enemies before using this Lilting Lullaby and then going into stopwatch, meaning that TSM were only able to kill off Niski here in this attempt, which is a pretty good surprise attempt. Initially, Niski goes into the Shroud, so they turn their sights towards Licorice, but him proccing 3 members, setting them to sleep, and then proccing a stopwatch means he survives. Niski not so lucky though, as Broken Blade came in on the Stand United. A Doublelift clenching there. I didn't see he got that close to dying from Blabber's ult on the edge, but he walks it out.
He was so close to dead in that situation there. Something I want to point out as we're 2 minutes away from this next Drake spawning. Sven on Senna, 3-0-10 in a 13-kill game spells 100% kill participation. Please, 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 please keep this man off of Ezreal and put him on something with some more playmaking potential like what Senna can do here in this game. The difference between the two champions has been night and day. I really like seeing Sven on something like this so much more. The Senna-Tahm Kench combo has just done wonderful work here for Cloud9's bottom lane speed.
Yeah, I mean, I know she has a global ultimate, but he's got
so does Ezreal.
He has 100% kill participation. And she's able to heal, shield allies with the ultimate, with the Q, and bring so much to these team fights, but he has been exceptional. And that being said, you also have to give credit to Vulcan's Tahm Kench, who's saved him multiple times. Supports often get forgotten in these accolades, and Vulcan's TK definitely been instrumental in getting Cloud9 to this point. They're trying to massage their 9,000 gold lead here, and it gets a little dangerous as you close in the tighter corridors. TSM do have a very good 5-on-5 setup. You have to watch out for Rakan Shen initiation if people are out of position, and since Licorice had to use his stopwatch in the last one, he doesn't have more defensive capabilities for the Lilia. TSM have consistently targeted him, and Cloud9 are going to have to kind of bridge this next few minutes, being worried about the possible engage. 30 seconds on the Dragon though, and C9 are trying to get an early health lead.
Blabber with the Yumu's active to chase after his opponents, keep them away from this. C9 have lost the last 2 Drakes in a row. Now that we're tied up 2-2, that means somebody's putting themselves on sole point here with this next Drake. Cloud9 would love to regain control around this bottom side area. Niski going in after Doublelift, but now he's in some trouble. Niski forced to use the second half of the ulti to get himself back away. And with the Cloud9 mid laner down to 25% HP, no ult available, TSM is feeling good moving forward here. Niski has to go back to the base and TP back in. Spica has stolen these before. Cloud9 has to be ready for that possibility. Sonic Wave over the wall. Resonating Strike could come in now. Spica comes through, and it's Doublelift who takes the Drake. It's 3 in a row now for TSM. Spica's dead first here in the fight. Niski coming in on the side. Blabber is dominating. TSM evaporating. And Cloud9 will slaughter their entire roster.
Blabber is just dumping out damage on this Graves. I am just... This is going to be the game. This guy is absolutely insane. The Dragon does go over, but he's fine taking the lives of TSM instead.
Dragon for Nexus is not the good trade to make in League of Legends. Biofrost and Spica are up in a couple seconds each. Nexus turrets already falling here. Nexus is vulnerable. Cloud9 is not messing around. They are not padding stats, but they are grabbing their first win here in this series, tying us up 1-1.